Aerith may be a dedicated healer, but that doesn't mean that she won't pack a punch when attacking with the highest magic stat in the game. The only problem is, can you get her to attack? Before we begin, I just wanted to mention that Cabbage has several videos outlining Aerith's skills and her use in PvP, so I will link those in the description below, and you can check them out if you're considering pulling for her, or you can just see her in action and get some terrific insight from Cabbage. Aerith is a 90 cost water unit with the main job White Mage, Final Fantasy VII Remake. She also has the sub-jobs Time Mage and Rune Knight, and she uses a rod as her main weapon. She uses cloth and hats as her armor. So we're going to be able to farm the guard stick during this collaboration, and it's going to provide 15 magic attack up and 8% magic resistance at a +5. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's something that we're going to be wanting to farm for multiple rod users. So definitely super excited about that. Aerith's TMR are her clothes. They provide HP, defense, and spirit, as well as the ability Flower Protection. This one cast TP skill is going to increase your single target resistance by 25%, and it's going to happen for you and for your allies. So super powerful TMR, very, very applicable. It's like Kingmont's TMR, but it's better for single target. It's great. And then we have Aerith's Master ability. This is going to provide the typical water attack and HP up for water allies, but it's also going to give a 15% boost to her magic stat and then a 5 boost to her spirit stat. Aerith's stats are pretty interesting. Her HP is very low at 2,760, but 617 magic is the highest in the game. But you have to keep in mind that she doesn't have any passive ways to raise her magic level, so she's not going to be equipping magic up level 1 or anything like that. Her agility is 64, which is solid, and she also gets 5 innate spirit from her master ability. Now, if you're thinking about going to job level 25, well, that's going to get you re-raise, so right there, that's probably going to be worth it. But just in case you want to compare the stats, she only gets 169 HP for going to max level. She does get an additional 71 magic. So the stats, I mean, as a healer, I don't think they're as big a deal, but the re-raise is a big deal. So you definitely want to go all the way with her. Aerith is strong against fire units and weak against lightning. She has a 10% magic resist, but it's pretty bleak after that. -5 to slash and to missile, -10 to pierce, and 0 resist to strike damage. Aerith is pretty much like Ayaka or any of our other dedicated healers in that she's just not really meant to take a hit. Aerith does have 50% resist to immobilize and berserk, so take that, King Mont, and a 10% resist to doom. Take that, Etra. Let's talk about Aerith's kit, and I'm going to mention anything that I think is important. So first up is a new passive called the Reef House Popular, which is going to grant a 30% boost to Aerith's TP. Her TP is already at 232, so maybe this is going to come in handy for long PvE fights, but otherwise I don't think you're going to be using this. Midgar Flower Cellar is going to increase your spirit and healing power, and this is a must equip if you are using her as a healer. CT Change is going to ensure that Aerith doesn't get stuck casting haste on herself in the corner. And then Speed Cast is going to increase all of Aerith's main job cast times by at least 1 tick. So if you're finding she's not casting spells in time, then try equipping that. Water Enhancing Rune gives Aerith more water attack, but I don't really know that she'll need it. Either way, the extra lightning resistance weakness isn't a big deal because she's dying regardless. And then finally we have Sharp Mind, which is a powerful passive, especially in PvE quests where enemies have big spirit stats. Again, this is dependent on if you're taking out a magic tank or not. You might want to equip this, but overall I think you're going to be using her more healing oriented passives. As for counters, we have React Heal, which is a very interesting counter. It heals Aerith and all the allies around her, and we know that healers love to stand right next to the tank, so this could actually be pretty effective. If Aerith is hit but not killed by an AoE, she could end up healing herself and the tank, and this is where AoE resist is going to come into play. We also have Slow Counter. It's a solid choice, but it's less likely that somebody's attacking Aerith directly and she's surviving that you're going to slow counter that unit. Taking a look at the main kit now, Bodyguard Please decreases Aerith's chance of being targeted and grants her 15% AoE resistance. This is really big for her survivability. If you stack enough AoE resist, then all of a sudden her reaction heal could be pretty effective, and the fact that she won't be targeted is just good so she doesn't get picked off by some single target attack from Dwayne or something. Vision is going to restore 20 AP to a target. This is a pretty neat effect for Aerith, especially when she doesn't need to heal. I'm curious if it's going to be more impactful than, having haste be cast, or, is this going to stop her from using important self buffs? I don't know. Judgment Ray is going to be upgraded to Ancient Ray in Aerith's EX job. It deals an 185% potency and decreases AP by 20 for the target, and if you upgrade it, it's also going to have a chance to immobilize the target. The straight line range for this skill makes it difficult to use, but it should deal some nice damage. Protect Servant is a 35% 3-time magic barrier that Aerith applies to herself and all the squares around her. This is an awesome skill, so you're going to be able to really take on mages that don't have barrier breaks with this, and even if they do, they're going to have to use those skills over, maybe their limit burst or something else they might be using. Inori is upgraded to Holy Inori in Aerith's EX job. It's a shorter range Kiraga, except it has a faster casting time. It gives 15 spirit to the targets that it hits, but it also has 1 less height range than Kiraga does. But the height range is still 1, so it's going to hit, the target platform 1 space above and 1 space below, so I don't really think that's going to be a huge deal. Overall, the fact that you have a faster casting time, that's the most important thing. And then the 15 spirit on top of that, it's a really good skill. At job level 25, Aerith gets re-raise, which, even with re-raise counters in the meta, I still think the skill is very, very powerful, and a lot of people that don't have Yuna are going to be very excited to get access to it. Aerith's sub-job provides her with 2 more skills. Innocent Force is a large AoE with a 185% potency. The AoE and the range is nice, but the casting time is very slow, so speed cast will help here. Healing Magic Circle is a single target heal that also grants regen to the target. So this is Aerith's second heal out of 3, including her limit burst, but not including her counter. So you might want this for her to be committed to healing in a long fight. Healing and providing regen for a tank is very effective, so I do like this skill a lot. I also made sure that I paused after I said regen, so that you guys know I'm pronouncing it properly. Aerith's Time Mage sub-job is going to give you access to Haste, Quicken, and Comment. Haste and Quicken speak for themselves, they're great for live play or for auto with some tuning, and Comment's going to provide Aerith with an attacking spell with a much easier to work with range. Then we have Rune Knight, and Aerith doesn't get Hazard Break, which is a shame because it has some range and it would give her access to a very powerful slashing attack type. Drain Evocation is still very interesting as it's going to heal Aerith quite a bit because of 1, her magic stat, and 2, her healing power up. And it's going to set up any damaging spell that she does to a pretty incredible degree as it gives you that 100% magic boost. But even so, I don't really see Rune Knight being viable for Aerith unless you're using it in live PvP. While she can heal a lot with Drain Evocation, she's not going to be surviving much damage in the first place to be healing with it. Aerith's Limit Burst is a massive 310 times potency heal for all allies within a cross-shaped AoE. It's going to give allies 15 defense as well, and the AoE is smaller than Ayaka, but the added defense is very welcome. Having that long range too, and the fact that it's instant cast is going to be very important for Aerith's success as a healer. If you're going for a damage build, you could leave this on as a one-time heal and turn off all your other heals, and it would be a really good option. Ayaka and Yuna are the main units to compare to Aerith, and stat and resistance wise they're very, very similar, so we're going to take a look at the kits mainly. Cabbage has an Aerith Lemire comparison video that I'll link to in the description, so if you're wondering why I didn't do a Lemire comparison, we've got you covered. So when it comes to the kits, Ayaka is a true healer. She has every heal in the book plus Asuna Protect Shell to boot. However, Aerith is going to make up for a lack of those skills with her own mitigation buffs for herself and for her allies. And while Ayaka has more heals than Aerith, Aerith has a faster Kiraga level heal, which is a really big deal. When that doesn't go off in time, like that's a game loser, so you gotta have a fast casting time. Aerith also has Aerith also one-ups Ayaka by having access to Quicken on her Time Mage sub, and that's a big difference for a lot of different game modes. Aerith has re-raise, Ayaka has full life. Both are very impactful. I think you could make a debate on either one being one that you want on your team. So if you want both, then you gotta go for Yuna. So even with Aerith having a higher magic stat than Yuna, Yuna is going to be a more effective attacker with her 100% hit attacks, her varied attacking kit, as well as just a stronger AI for attacking. Yuna also has access to full life and re-raise, and her healing power is just tremendous. She gets so much boost to that. But in terms of pure healing, Aerith is going to win with her heals, mitigation, her instant cast limit burst. But when battles, they're not so black and white, and Yuna is just going to be an all-around better unit with all the support that she gets and all the different things that she can do. She's a better unit in my eyes. One last note is that any of these units with Mastery or with Yuna's TMRs, they're going to have a very powerful heal and mitigation, so be sure to give that to one of them. Let's talk about the pros and cons of Aerith. For the pros, we have a re-raise, we have a fast Curaga, we have an instant LB for healing, and that's all going to make her a pretty good healer. She can buff allies' defense, spirit, and magic resist, and then she can also give that barrier as well. So she reduces her own hate, she buffs her own AoE resist, and she has a huge magic stat. There's so many things that you can do with Aerith, especially when you're playing manually or when you have the right map to set it up. And then you have haste and quicken, so quite a deep kit, quite a lot of decisions to make. That's all makes for a very fun unit. As for the cons, well, her attacking spells have very awkward ranges. They're going to be difficult to figure out. She's very squishy, and her AI is just going to require a lot of effort to test and perfect. And, we don't always have that time to do that as mobile game players. So if you're looking for a plug-and-play unit, she's not going to be that unit, I don't think. So you can maybe reconsider pulling for her. So should you pull for Aerith? I think that the players that want to pull for Aerith should just pull for her. If you like the unit, you like the character, then just go for it. She's going to be a lot of fun. I think, as Cabbage has said in his video, she's a very high skill unit, so expect to put in some work to make her effective. If you have Yuna, Ayaka, or Lemire built, then you should likely skip Aerith, and your account already has access to a lot of what you're going to be wanting Aerith to do anyway. So overall, I'm going to be skipping Aerith, even though she was someone I was initially very interested in. But let me know what your plans are. If you're going to be pulling for her, why are you going to be pulling for her? And let me know what you thought about the video, if it was useful for you. And then otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Before I go, don't forget we have the Mysidia Gaming Discord, which you can find the link for in the description for the video. And you can like and subscribe to be kept up with any new videos that are coming out soon.